More ancient history jewelry stories. It's Friday, which means we're talking rubies, and it's finally time for the Imposters episode. I've mentioned in a few previous episodes that there are a variety of red stones that have been mistaken for rubies over the years. In fact, there's a name for these stones. Ballast rubies. One of the major stones that has historically been mistaken for ruby is red spinel, and it wasn't until 1783 that they were able to differentiate between spinel and ruby. On the list of famous ruby imposters, we have the Black Prince ruby. This is 170 carats, and it's in the Imperial state crown of the United Kingdom. Its history can be traced back to 1367. The Black Prince, as you may have guessed, is not a ruby, but a red spinel. Next up, we have the Timour Ruby, which I mentioned in the video about the top 3 stones stolen by the British. This weighs 352 carats. Interestingly, since 1612, whoever has owned the Timour Ruby has also owned the Kor Diamond. Much like the Black Prince's ruby, this is a red spinel. Number 3 is Catherine the Great's ruby. This weighs in at a whopping 398 carats. This is in the Great Imperial Crown of Russia, which was in use from 1762 until 1896. Next up, we have this delicious looking piece, the Côte de Bretagne. This weighs 107 carats and is carved into what is described as a chunky dragon. This is part of the French royal jewels. And last but not least, we have my personal favorite. This is known as Caesar's Ruby. Unlike the other 4, this is not a red spinel. This is in fact a rubellite tourmaline. This has nothing to do with Caesar, Roman, or otherwise. The name comes from its original name, the Caesarius Rubicus, or Emperor's Ruby. This dates back to around the 17th century, which is around the time that the delightful grape leaf fitting would have been made for this stone.